When it comes to selling online, regardless of the platform, either it's eBay, Amazon, or Shopify, people are always debating which business model is going to be the best for them. Either it's a dropshipping, retail arbitrage, or a wholesale business model. I've been selling online from past 10 years. I try every single business model, and this is going to be based on my own personal experience. I'm going to look at each and every single one of them. I will tell you the pros and cons of every single one of them. And at the end of the video, I will give you my own honest opinion, which one you should go for. So let's get started. So first of all, let's talk about dropshipping. Dropshipping, just to give you a little bit motivation, if you know Gymshark is a multi-million-dollar company, the owner of Gymshark actually started a clothing brand and he used to rely on a dropshipping business model. Nowadays, obviously, Gymshark have a different nature of business and it's a huge brand. It's a multi-million brand. What is dropshipping? Dropshipping is basically working as a middleman. This is a simple definition of dropshipping. So you have a supplier, let's say you go to a supplier website, you see a product on your supplier website, you list it onto your eBay store, your Amazon store, your Shopify store, and once you get the order from the customer, you actually order on the behalf of customer from the supplier. So your supplier will do the packing, your supplier will do the shipping, and they will ship that product directly to your customer and you will keep the difference for yourself. That is the simple definition of dropshipping. It sounds really simple, but at the end of the day, it is going to have the pros and cons. So let's talk about the pros first. Number one, barrier to entry in this business model is going to be really low because you're not buying the stock in bulk. It does not require you to do a lot of upfront investment. You are just simply working as a middleman. The second pro is going to be that you do not have to do your own packing and shipping. Your supplier is taking care of all of that. And nowadays there are the tools which can help you list multiple items within seconds, and there are the tools which can help you fulfill those orders from your suppliers. So you can set up the auto ordering from your suppliers. Obviously, speaking of cons, and I'm gonna talk about the first con, which is relevant to the pro as well, that this is something that you won't be able to scale, because having a multiple product from different suppliers and trying to manage all at one place, it is going to be really hard without having to pay a lot of money for some kind of tools which will actually eat out a lot of profit margin. So it is going to require you to buy some kind of tools to manage all of that, and those tools are not going to be cheap. The second con is going to be the supplier location. Obviously, if you're dealing with somebody who is a supplier based in China, they're gonna have a really longer delivery time. Based on practical examples, based on many people I know, it is absolutely possible to make somewhere 4,000, 5,000 pounds per month, but scaling beyond that, it is really impossible because you do not have the control over the quantity of the item. So these are pros and cons you will have to keep in mind once you're doing a drop shipping. But if you are somebody who will say, well, I don't need a lot of headache and I'm gonna be okay with, like, let's say 3,000-4,000 pounds per month, you can absolutely get started with the drop shipping. So second business model is going to be retail arbitrage. The difference between the retail arbitrage and the dropshipping: with the dropshipping, you are dealing with the dropshipping suppliers. With the retail arbitrage, you are dealing with the retail stores like Asda, Argos, and Poundland. The way it works, and I have done tons of video on it, you go to Argos, you go to Poundland, or you just simply visit the website. Most of the time in a clearance, you will see a cheap item which is really good value for the money, and you list that product for the higher price over to your eBay, Amazon, or Shopify store. Once you receive the order, you just simply buy it from the Argos, you just simply buy it from a Poundland, and you just send it to your customer. And this is the way, same like a drop shipping, you keep the difference for yourself, but rather than dealing with the suppliers, you are dealing with the retail store. Now, let's talk about pros and cons, right? So as a pro, no upfront investment. You're just simply picking one product and fulfilling the order for your customer. The second thing, and I recently made a video on it as well, I have actually shown a seller who was just dealing with the Argos. So they buy the products from clearance and they sell it onto their eBay store. And I have shown their actual profit was over £3,000 every single month. So if you're somebody who have a time in hand and you can actually go to your local store and you pick up the product from there and you can fulfill the order for your customer, this is the great way to get started. But obviously it is going to have cons as well. So first of all, let's talk about the con, which is a fulfillment. Because a lot of time you cannot order from the Argos website, Poundland website, Wilco website, Asda website, because the chances are they're going to have a branded packing, they are going to have the invoice inside, and if the customer will find out, obviously they're gonna be upset. But if you're somebody who have a time in hand, this is something you can do. Given the example, and I have seen many people, I have seen a realistic store, and I will link that video inside the description, where they make over £3,000. So the third business model is going to be wholesale business model. So wholesale business model, you buy the things from China for cheap and you buy them in bulk, or you buy them from your local supplier, but you buy them in bulk. You actually stock them, and I have bought 50 of them, I bought 100 of them, I bought 200 of them, depending on your budget. And once you receive the order from your customer, then you need to do the packing, you need to do the shipping and send that stock to your customer. You're buying the stock in bulk for cheap, selling it for the higher price. This is the way the pros is, like, exactly how many items you have, the quantity of the item, the quality of that particular item as well. So what you're selling, how many of them you can sell. You wouldn't have a problem like if the supplier will run out of stock, all that kind of stuff as well. But even this business model are going to have its cons. The product that you will buy in bulk, it might not sell. And then you end up like a room full of the stock, which nobody is willing to buy. So the point I'm trying to make here, after discussing every single business model, that all three of these business models are going to have some level of pros and some level of cons. And to some level, there are solutions to all those cons, but either you will have to spend your own personal time or you will have to spend money to fix those problems as well. You can't have both. So you can't have it cheap and you can't have it good. That's what I'm trying to say. So what is my conclusion at the end of the day? My basic understanding after working on this after 10 years, that all these three business models are good. It really comes down to at what level you are. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, make your life really easy. But at the end of the day, you are the one who have to take action. I might go outside and the truck will hit me, but that doesn't mean I should stop going outside. So the point which I'm trying to make here, rather than you sit down and you try to just think about it, okay, if I'm going to do drop shipping and I will have to buy some kind of tool to manage all that, the tool doesn't cost you more than £30 a month, and that's £1 a day. And there are great tools out there, but obviously it is going to be limited. But at the end of the day, you think, okay, I'm not going to spend money on a tool and I'm going to start a retail arbitrage. And this is something which fits in your circumstances and you are willing to go to local store and pick up the product from there, then start drop shipping. And if you're somebody who have money to spend in a product to buy them in a bulk up front, then start with the wholesale business model. Learn to do your product research. Don't just sit down and think about the negative side of it. Everybody start from zero. Everybody start from somewhere. This will be an amount of money that he wasn't earning yesterday. And slowly, you can go to the next level. So if you're somebody you think drop shipping is something that I can do and I will learn how to do my product research and I will see what products are working really well, and then I will know what products are selling so I can feel more confidence before I spend my money to buy something in bulk in advance, start with drop shipping. Start with the retail arbitrage. To test the product ideas, to see what sells, what you really like selling. Is this something for you or not at the end of the day? So that's the reason, and this is the perfect time that I should plug my course inside, because in my course I teach every single one of them. You can start with a drop shipping, test the product idea. If you're okay with the £3,000, £4,000, and I have seen many people just stick with it. If you're somebody you want to start with a retail arbitrage, I explain everything how you can start with a retail arbitrage. With the dropshipping, how you can use the tools, how you can find the products which sells consistently from the UK based supplier, so you don't have to deal with a longer delivery time. And also from the scratch, how you can start the wholesale business model, which you can get started with little as £250. So I put together all step-by-step system. It's just not any course, and I will leave the link for that inside the description. That was the perfect time to plug the course as well. But if you want to watch the video which I mentioned, where the seller is doing retail arbitrage from the Argos and they're making £3,000, that video link is right here above this pencil. You should take action. Like, that's something which is really, really important.